Everyone comes to Tokyo for the neon-drenched spectacle, the shrines, and the flawless order. But I'm here to show you that there's another Tokyo entirely. A world that lives beneath the bright lights and the polite smiles. I went looking for the invisible city, and what I found was mind-blowing. From criminal empires operating in the shadows of Kabukichō to lonely people literally buying love for thousands of dollars a night. I'm setting out on a quest to uncover the secret societies, the strange, hidden communities that exist in Tokyo's shadows. Trust me, this is the side of the city no tourist will ever truly see. So if you haven't already subscribed yet, please do. Now, let's begin. The Yakuza, Tokyo's invisible power. I'm standing in Kabukichō, Tokyo's infamous red light district. And if you think this place is just neon signs and karaoke bars, well, think again. Behind some of these doors might be Yakuza offices. Yep, Japan's organized crime syndicates have nameplates, business cards, and a reputation that stretches back to post-World War II black markets. It's wild, right? I'd love to show you guys what the inside looks like, but I don't want to see what I'm not supposed to. Now, here's a fun fact. I just learned from one of the locals that back in the 1980s, there were over 80,000 Yakuza members nationwide. But today, there are fewer than half that number. But don't let the numbers fool you. Their influence hasn't vanished. It's just gone into stealth mode like a ninja operating from the shadows. Sounds cool, right? Just like the movies. But there's more. I found out that they run hostess bars, construction firms, and even talent agencies. This basically shows that not every secret in Tokyo is born from crime and shadows. Some are stitched together from pure imagination. So come with me as I take you into another corner of Kabukichō, where reality takes a backseat and curiosity is the only ticket you'll need. It's 11 p.m. in Kabukichō, the kind of hour when my mom would think I'm already asleep, but in reality, I'm 3 street corners away from questioning my life choices. The streets are glowing like a Blade Runner fever dream, all neon, glitter, and suspiciously enthusiastic signage. But behind the neon facades and glossy billboards of Club Romance and Club Luminous lies something stranger than fiction. It's called Tokyo's Host and Hostess Clubs. Now, before you jump to conclusions, these places don't just sell drinks, they sell attention, affection, and the illusion of love. Shocking, right? I felt the same way too. So here's how it really works. Host clubs cater to women who pay thousands to be doted on by styled-up men with perfect hair and even more perfect charm. In fact, some top hosts earn more than doctors just by pouring drinks and saying, "You're beautiful." I didn't believe any of this until I saw it with my own eyes. And trust me, I was stunned. And don't worry, the men aren't left out of the fun either. Hostess clubs exist exactly for that. Here, men pay for charm, laugh at all their jokes, even the unfunny ones, and the kind of attention that makes them feel like the main character in a drama. Their egos? Softly pampered. It's like therapy, but with sparkles and emotional special effects. Now, I'll be honest, I was this close to giving it a try, especially when one of the hostesses approached me with that, "I know your star sign just by looking at you" kind of smile. She almost had me, but then I remembered, I still had to show you guys around Tokyo, so I respectfully declined.
Maybe I'll circle back after this video. Who knows? Hopefully my wife won't see this. Babe, I'm joking. Seriously.
Now, here's the twist to places like this. They're tucked away in unmarked buildings, guarded by touts who vanish when police roll by. And while they're technically legal, many operate in a gray zone, overcharging, trapping clients in debt, and quietly paying protection money to the Yakuza. But if you think that's wild, wait until we see what people do in the daytime to escape reality. We're heading to Akihabara, where the pursuit of fantasy turns from romance into pure, intense obsession. It's morning in Akihabara, and the vibe here is a whole different universe. Gone are the shadowy, neon-soaked alleys of Kabukichō. Now I'm standing between anime billboards the size of buildings, vending machines that don't sell drinks but collectible figurines, and maids in frilly dresses handing out flyers like it's just another Tuesday. And here, yeah, that's perfectly normal. This is the heart of otaku culture. Tokyo's underground kingdom of anime devotees, idol fanatics, and gamers who have turned escapism into a full-time lifestyle. I just walked into a maid cafe where a waitress drew a heart on my omelet with ketchup and called me master in Japanese. I've never felt so loved by such a cutie, and slightly shy because this is my first time experiencing such. But it's not all cosplay and cuteness. Behind the curtains are adult manga shops, dating sim games, and underground idol concerts where grown men chant like it's a spiritual ritual. I couldn't believe it until I experienced it myself. And guess what? It's intense, emotional, and oddly wholesome. A community built on fantasy, not shame. Akihabara used to sell electronics. Now it sells dreams. Not my kind of dream though, but for many, it's the only place they feel seen. Now, once the sun sets on Akihabara, another group of people seeks a different kind of freedom. One that's much more artistic, much more taboo, and definitely after dark. It's just past midnight in Tokyo, and I've officially stepped into a parallel universe of fetish pleasure. I'm in Uguisudani, a quiet neighborhood by day, but tonight I'm walking into Department H, Japan's most legendary fetish party. Guess what's inside? Drag queens and latex, rope suspension shows, and someone dressed like a giant plush octopus. I don't want to ask questions anymore before they think I'm a newbie here. Like, for real, this isn't your average night out. While Department H might be open to all, some of these events are secretive, invite-only, and often disguised as art shows to dodge Japan's strict obscenity laws. But once inside, it's a judgment-free zone. Salarymen become dominatrices, engineers become burlesque MCs, and everyone's just free. The only rule is consent, and maybe don't trip over the guy in the gimp suit. And I must admit, Tokyo's fetish scene is extensive to say the least. From S&M bars like Decabar and Square to love hotels with full-on nurse and patient roleplay rooms. This city has a category for every curiosity. People don't just come here to play, they come to be seen in their truest, strangest, most unfiltered form. Not me though, I was just innocently minding my business as a responsible tourist should when two cute girls approached me offering to make my night special. And yes, I almost said yes, again. But then I remembered I'm here for tourism and wholesome cultural documentation. So I respectfully declined. Honestly, at this point, I'm starting to feel like I might be missing out. But hey, you guys can make it worth my sacrifice by smashing that like button and subscribing to my channel for more amazing travel adventures. By the way, not all Japanese youth chase freedom through roleplay or fetish fantasies. Some chase a different kind of thrill, the deafening roar of an engine at 2 a.m. So now, let me take you to a different side of Tokyo's underground, the ghosts of rebellion known as the Bozozoku biker gangs. It's currently 2:30 a.m. in Tokyo, and I'm standing on a quiet street where, 40 years ago, you'd hear the roar of modified bikes before you saw them. Back then, the Bozozoku ruled these roads. They're Japan's infamous biker gangs who made chaos look cool. Just imagine a biker in kamikaze jumpsuits, pompadour hair, and motorcycles louder than your neighbor's karaoke machine. When I asked some locals about the history of this bike gang, they told me that in the 1980s, there were over 40,000 of them nationwide. Then they weren't really seen as just rebels. Instead, they were a full-blown youth movement. Their bikes were decked out with wild fairings and antennas, and their uniforms screamed samurai patriotism meets street punk. They raced, they clashed with police, and they made sure everyone knew they existed, especially at 2 a.m. That means no sleep for the neighborhood. Still, I would have loved to see them cruising the road with my own eyes. When I asked where they are now, the locals told me they're nearly extinct. Police crackdowns, economic shifts, and rising bike costs have thinned their ranks. But the legend lives on in anime, fashion, and costume shops selling vintage Bozozoku gear. Some say the spirit of rebellion just found new wheels, like illegal drift crews. But not all rebellion is loud. Some of Tokyo's most extreme acts of defiance happen in complete silence. Now, let's step into the world of hikikomori, Tokyo's invisible millions.
No doubt, Tokyo is loud, fast, and packed with people. But behind some of these apartment windows is silence. I'm on a quiet residential block, and somewhere nearby, someone hasn't left their room in years. No crime record, no social drama, just complete withdrawal from the rest of the world. It's like they've sentenced themselves to prison. Sure, I've seen things like this in anime, but I never thought they were real until now. These are the Hikikowari residences, Japan's invisible shut-ins. Over 1 million people across Japan live this way, and Tokyo alone has tens of thousands. Some say they're not lazy at all, just crushed by school pressure, work burnout, and crippling social anxiety. For them, disappearing feels easier than trying to keep up. Their lives flip into a different rhythm. Awake all night gaming, asleep during the day, surviving off convenience store food and the quiet kindness of their parents. It's like becoming a ghost inside your own home. And for the parents, watching their child fade like that, it's quietly heartbreaking. This is why many families keep it hidden, out of shame. I was told that in this neighborhood, the neighbors believed the family's son who lived here had already moved out. But in reality, he's still upstairs, living in a 6-tatami universe lit only by the glow of a computer screen. His parents are now in their 80s, still caring for him in his 50s. There's even a name for this, the 80-50 problem. Grim, right? If I had a child living like that, I'd be heartbroken too. But Tokyo's underground goes even deeper, into a neighborhood the city once tried to erase. Let's visit Sanya, a place long seen as home only for society's outcasts. I'm walking through Sanya, or at least what used to be called Sanya. The name was officially erased decades ago, but the reality of what happened is still very much here. This is Tokyo's forgotten corner, where the skyscrapers stop and the blue tarp cants begin. Here you won't find sushi bars or vending machines that sell neckties. Instead, you'll see flop houses called doya, soup kitchens, and elderly men lining up for day labor or sipping shochu, a type of Japanese liquor, from paper cartons when work doesn't come. I was told some of the men here helped build Tokyo's skyline. Now they sleep beneath it. Really sad, isn't it? I went around to see more of the place, and the deeper I went, the more heartbreaking I felt. Sanya was once a labor hub, but also a dumping ground for society's outcasts. The government tried to erase it from maps, but you can't delete poverty with paperwork. Even today, saying you're from Sanya carries a stigma. Still, there's love and togetherness here. Locals look out for each other, and grandma-run stew shops still serve meals for 100 yen. But everything changed when I talked to one of the locals, and they told me about a certain tragedy. In the 1980s, 2 filmmakers who tried to document Sanya's plight were actually murdered by the Yakuza for shining a light on this stark corner. Their violence shows just how far those in power were willing to go to keep this place invisible. And honestly, it made me want to leave as fast as possible before I became another part of this hidden tragedy. But even as I walked away, I couldn't shake the feeling of sympathy for the people who had no choice but to stay. I mean, we came to Tokyo looking for a secret city, and we found 7 different ones. In Tokyo's underground, secrecy is more than just for survival. It's the way people around here can live freely and express themselves. Every group we met, from the Yakuza to the forgotten residents of Sanya, is a hidden writing of a powerful human story that mainstream society refuses to tell. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Tokyo's hidden layers.